Hey cuties! Hope you're all having a nice evening. And hello and good night if you're still here 24. Yes, enjoy your well-deserved sleep. Otherwise, I gladly talk you to sleep because we're just doing slow detailing as usual. But I did actually this time get a lot of things done off stream. As we can see, especially from further away, this area, while still missing a little, this is getting to be at a very much further point. And then this entire area, I consider 100% done. I guess not 100, because there is this very small part here, where we should still plop some sims down. But beside this small part, the entire query finally is done. Like, we detailed all of the sand piles and plopped down sims everywhere. So all of this finally looks appropriate. And I'm very happy. I am saying all of the quarry is done. That is obviously not true. What isn't done is this part. This is probably something we will tackle in one of the next streams. Because here I'm still waiting if maybe Jay is gonna update this, because there is some piece I'm missing, and with this I still wanna fiddle with the amazing surfaces that Elgando made for us a little. And then we're gonna dive in and also detail out this nice cliff here appropriately. Because again, so far that is very lackluster still, but we'll get there. And otherwise, I am very, very happy to see all of this properly in shape now. I mean, the difference is not a big one to where we were in the past, but we now have people everywhere, which again does make a really big difference visually. And again, there is one more, whenever I look at old areas, there is one more thing we definitely need to go over in this area beside the cliff and this, I don't know how to call it, but shoot for the material. We're getting there. And welcome in, Chaos. Nice to see you, cutie. Very late stream today, so probably won't be the longest one, but we'll get there. And I think we ignored this part of the mine today, that we kind of finished off stream, and we'll dive into the other side of the city and gonna build a cute liquor store and finish it up a bit more. But yeah, just to keep you guys on track, because again, this has made the last little bit of effort. The one thing that I'm missing again is sims here, and then we definitely wanna put up the piles. Yeah, don't worry, Chaos. And actually, we're gonna dive right in and look at your liquor store, because I did detail most of the things around the liquor store. As you can see, we have a very cute elementary school here, which we actually went in all of the effort and put some nice right everywhere branding on top of it as well. And then right next door, we have this Moe's. That's gonna be right next to your liquor store, because this is your liquor store lot. And we started detailing this on stream a little the last time, but I went in and actually finished this, and I love how this gas station turned out. Especially because it has this weird mix with this pumpkin bakery right next to it. And I do think I love this so much, because this space here screams America to me. It's like the town center, but obviously, since it's the US, the center of the town center is pretty much car-centered and fast food and car-centered, but I love the vibe we're getting in here. And yeah, this fire station, I have not fully really detailed it up, but we're close. And then I went in and properly detailed up this, which I think this turned out super nice. It's a bit of a template for how we want to do the rest of this one is also nearly finished pretty much. And then we're missing this one, and then the area back here is supposed to be a lot more run down and abandoned. We will have some life in here, but not as much. This is the area of the city that I still kinda wanna be alive. So this is the area we're mainly gonna dive in, and without talking too much, let's have a quick look, because I actually have not yet looked at them. I hope they show up when we type liquor. They don't. Did I mistype it? You are in chat, you can probably help me and tell me what I should type in the search to find them. Okay, chaser. Very nice, thanks for that, because that would have been an issue. I assume most of the things, as always with your stuff, are gonna be too big for me. But then the smaller ones, we are gonna make use of. Yeah, again, as said, very big to start up with, but I love the logo of this. And welcome in, Gaga, nice to see you. In fact, after we went over this, we will have to have a look at a few things from Gaga as well, because I tried around quite a bit more with your rock surfaces, and the more I get used to your new surfaces, the better at using them I get. So I think you will be happy about it. But yeah, very cute. Again, this pack is a new decal pack. AK is fun, who's in chat right now. And we're having a very first look at it. I'd like to get even more of this in, but it's this kind of morph with a residential one, so we won't have that much advertising space. But then I do want to have a bit of an outside area here where people are drinking and enjoying themselves as well. And how are you cuties doing today? This one is very cute for just propping up the windows a little. I like it. I love these small detailed decals, like big yay on that case, always more of that. They just allow you to prop it up a bit. So I love these. Now I guess this in small, maybe even in this size, we could fit it in this size, but I want to have a look at everything first to figure what we want to do. These I also really like. We might be able, I think if there is a smaller version of this, we can do something cool with those. This one is perfect. This is probably one of the ones we're using, but again, I want to have a quick look at all of them. This is pretty much the same in dark. This, I think we can also use. This one we'll keep in mind, or maybe even this, maybe we do all of it lighter. Can we get a combination? I think so. We're gonna start trying around here. Because can we combine these two? Are these the same size? If so, this will be very cute to actually take the front up a bit more. They do fit, though this has the outline and this one doesn't. Welcome in, Sunny. Sunny becoming the biggest poop knife fan in the group, I can tell. Hope you have a nice evening. We are just having a look at, okay, I see this one is even smaller. This one maybe we can fiddle here on the side. But we're just having a look at the new decal pack by Chaos. And again, I'm trying to see what we can do with it. I need to figure our alternatives first. And how are all of you pretty people doing this wonderful evening? It's absurd that you call this medium size. This is absolutely gigantic, but there is smaller ones I can see already. This one very cute, but no way we can fit that anywhere. All of the bigger ones are wasted on us. This we could fit somewhere in the outside, but I want to see if there is even smaller one. This one, very cute. Actually, this one we should... Well, let's see, maybe there's an even smaller, less intrusive one. But I love the variety. There is a lot of... I'm absolutely loving how many small ones there are. Yeah, I might use some of them on a billboard as well, but the main one I want to use on a billboard is the vertical one. Just wait and let me cook, because you guys... I think at least that the vertical one is gonna look very cute on it. Sad, if this would be a bit smaller, we could perfectly fit them under the windows here, but I guess they are all the same size. It's fine, we will find ways to use all of this. I just want to see what alternatives we have. These are also really cool. Maybe we should use one of those instead. I am indeed a size queen and prefer small packages. That is absolutely correct. Welcome in, Elgando. What kind of work call? Is there actually things happening in Argentina and you actually have business? I'm happy for you, mate. Maybe we can squeeze one in here. Okay, and now I want to have a look. I hope we can copy that somewhere because it's so annoying to use it. I'm looking for one of those vertical billboards that sometimes spawn in the building. I assume maybe we have to search for it because I delete most of the billboards. But if we could find one of them, that would be very nice. I think we have one of them somewhere here. Yes, this. Yeah, we managed to not hit a decal, but hit the actual sign. Please? Yes, nice. Okay. Perfect. We're gonna use this one because this is gonna be the perfect fit to put the vertical sign on. I hope at least. And the question is if we want it here in the front or if we want it further back. I guess in the front is the most logical. So let's blast one down there. And again, I'm not sure. This is the first time of us using this pack. I'm not sure this will fit, but let's hope it will fit. What is a UPS system? I know UPS, the postal service, but I'm not sure what the UPS system is otherwise. Damn it, close. See, the small one is a tad too small for the sign we have here. This would be, well, maybe we can use right everywhere to trick it. Is there none that fits perfectly? Sad. This one and then right everywhere behind it, maybe, huh? I guess we have to do that. Or maybe we can just find a white decal over the back of it. Or maybe there is a similar... What is that brand called? Give me any brand name. Maito. Let's have a look at all of the Maito signs if there's a more fitting ones. But yes, very cool pack. Again, I love how much small variants there is in there. Because I think especially the small ones are really powerful. I think from the look of it, you would have the right size for this one. Which maybe we could use it back here, but then I do think that's a bit oversized. And maybe this one is a perfect, it's a tad too big again, I will fear. It's made for the small, okay. This one, right? This one is smaller, I think, than the other ones, but it's fine. We can just use this one. Even though that's a bit illegal, but we'll just turn this sideways here in the wall, if you know that's the correct size, and then we'll still get what we want pretty much. they do fit vanilla signs usually, but not that much. And I am actually quite the opposite. I think many of the vanilla brands are quite cool. So if I want to use normal sizes, I don't mind using the normal vanilla brands. I mainly love custom branding to not fit the sizes, which is a right angle, because this does not look perfectly horizontal. That's wrong. That's wrong. So this should be right. Kinda. That looks better. Yeah, they do fit. Like they should maybe not always to the right one, but generally they should fit. And I guess these we need to split. That's a tad annoying that he's so finicky with the terrain here, but doesn't matter. We can just delete it and place a new one there. Because I do think if they're right next to each other, because one of them has an outline and the other one doesn't, it looks like it has a bit of a gap. So I would rather get a bit of distance between them, like this. I think that's gonna look smoother in the end. Of course, I will sample the stock. If there is a liquor store in my town, you can be sure I will spend a lot of time on this property. You are very much not wrong, Sunny. And there is actually something very funny, Sunny, in your last video. I actually was thinking about saying that because I was dying inside of laughing when that happened. There was a moment in your last video where you were talking a bit background or giving a bit of background to your build towards the end of the video, and you gave all the background, but then I don't think you had a proper transition to what you wanted to talk about or what you wanted to talk about afterwards. So it was literally just you talking about the background, and then you were like, okay, and then that was the transition, and it was beautiful. I was literally dying inside because it felt like you were a bit lost in that moment, and I very much enjoyed seeing that, not gonna lie. I mean, I like it. The question is, do we double it up for the background? Because it is a bit sad. I mean, it is kinda correct. See? Of course, this is exactly the propaganda we needed. Now Baloo is here, we get some proper El Presidente propaganda, which I'm a big fan of. And well, Sunny, I'm usually a lot more lost than you, so no critic in that. But already, holy, my frames just dropped into, hold on, whenever my frames drop, I don't know why that's the case, but what helps me a lot is to zoom out, look at all my city, so the models load in, and then my game should run a bit better. So, not sure why that's happening, but yeah, this already looks super cute. We can definitely work this out appropriately. I mean, yeah, my computer is crap, not sure why it's happening. I hope it's not even worse on stream, not exactly sure why this is happening right now, but I guess it's also due to the amount of rocks we place in this area. Because, yeah, I've been busy off stream, so Ergando can't bully me for doing nothing but placing rocks, so I spent a lot of time off stream to place rocks. And this, for example, is what I wanted to show you, Gaga. Because here is not perfect yet, and definitely not a great try, but here I'm trying to do a dried out riverbed. Not even a proper riverbed, but to make it obvious that there is, how's it called? like rainwater funneling through here when the weather is bad, and I think it looks beautiful. Is it that bad? I'm actually back to 30 frames. Like, I was dropping frames for very little, but now it seems pretty stable for me. Maybe it's actually also my internet or something, but for me it looks fine now. But yeah, here I think it's very easy to see, because these, again, I hope all of you excited, are mixed, some very different surfaces from Gaga that you can already get if you want to download the beta mod, but they're not yet pushed onto the PDX version, but look how cute they are already. I do think they work really great, especially in areas like this where you cover other things up. So, big fan, really. And honestly, I do think signage-wise, I am already pretty happy. We can use a few more of the smaller ones you made. Especially the posters, maybe. Well, I could have imagined this is gonna happen. Sad, the posters are a tiny bit too big for the window. We're gonna try if we can just move it backwards so it doesn't bleed on the bottom. And obviously, Chaos is gonna claim this. I don't even need to ask. There you go. It's your alcoholic meetup, because that's exactly what's gonna happen here. You can be sure. Honestly, this is such a glorious spot to have a liquor store, because you have all of these mine and quarry workers next door that gonna spend all of the day doing hard work and carry things and doing heavy things. And then after work, obviously, they're gonna have a walk over here and grab something at the liquor store. See, I'm not sure what Sunny is gonna claim, so now I need to ask. You can claim everything. Maybe you want something in a mine area or in this small town. Maybe you want something different. I mean, honestly, good thinking. There is a double upstairs. This is two different blocks. So which one is the one you want upstairs right above the liquor store, I guess? To get in some illegal business. Just to make sure. Alright. Okay, there you go. I obviously I know you, so I'm sure it's gonna be strip poker, not any kind of other poker. And you're gonna be sure I'm gonna send my cops over sometimes to make sure, obviously, there is no illegal gambling happening. I would say so, but then if you pay me off, that's not what's gonna happen. The cops obviously come over to pretend to be strippers a little and join your strip poker. And let's see here if we can manage. It depends a bit how KS built this decal. But if we're lucky, kind of, it gets a bit less vibrant, but it works. We can move it back and we're losing the bleeding. We can even move it up a little more to cut a bit less off. Something like this, maybe? Honestly, absolute prime location for these businesses, right next to all of the sweaty workers here. I love it, really. This entire town, maybe just me, but I feel like this is so lovely, because really, this has everything the US needs. It has some small place to grab yourself some street food, and it has a rundown local gas station with a shitty mechanic right next door. It has a this, the fire station, this we will still work out, but this is, at least in my head, something like a small public library slash community center. It's one of the things we're also working on. But then a shitty rundown strip mall where we're gonna be sure to have some close, nailed down businesses here ready. So honestly, I feel like this place has gotten so American, and I'm a big fan. Honestly, as always, when everything Baloo does propaganda in chat, I love it, and maybe KS Fun has to add that to one of the posters over his back, because that is beautiful. Baloo is just a poet with words. What can we do? The question is, there was another. This one is already too big. We have one of those there already. I guess we are honestly perfectly fine. Maybe have a single one. Damn it. This one was smaller. Yeah, this one we can fit in here. And I do think this is perfectly fine with KS decals here. Now we're gonna go in and adjust this with some normal signage. And then we're gonna decorate this nicely. I very much like it. In fact, I will usually this is a redeem, and I need to redeem to claim road names, but I'm a big fan of that name, so I'm willing to give it out for free. You just have to choose which one you want. Should it be close to it?
Wow,
Can't be this.
very nice.
We have Dr. Green Thumb here already, next to Cypress Hill Lane, of course. So where is Cactus Hill Lane gonna be? Maybe even back here in the abandoned part of it.
I wish we had a cactus.
I also wish we had a cactus. The problem in this area here is literally that it's gonna be very difficult for us to click half of the road names. I legit cannot click any of those road names. That is so annoying, like wholeheartedly. But Elgando, I have actually very exciting news, because Elgando has been very nice and asked about a tool from Triton to be able to change the cursor in what you want to target. And Triton says is going to be one of his next priorities. So this issue I've been facing this entire build, where I'm not able to select anything because there is decals in front of everything everywhere, it will solve itself in the future. So that's amazing, because my biggest issue, that also means we're gonna wait with this, because one of the things I really want to fix obviously is this crossing, because that seems a bit unoptimally placed really. But there is no way I can touch this. Like if I go into manipulation mode and we turn the filter onto only the segments and the nodes, I cannot touch anything here because it's decals everywhere. And maybe in future that's gonna get better, so we're gonna wait and ignore that problem for now. And I'm gonna give this the name because Habermeister J is not claiming properly. So I'm gonna put the answer for him, and this is gonna be Cactus Hill Lane. Right next to Cypress Hill Lane, so very fitting. I'm gonna save real quick because we named different properties and I want them to get lost really. Okay, this is so goddamn full with so many different decals. It's slightly problematic, but obviously I knew we were gonna combine these. We have to combine it with this amazing liquor, beer, wine, neon sign by Red Kool-Aid, which literally is made to work with this pack here. We're gonna add some more of these neon-y ones as well, but really this one is just 10 out of 10 together. Maybe as well that, but already would be a big help to have a similar filter. And like I said, he said it's doable and it's going to be one of the next priorities. If you have any good input for that, James, I know, well, never mind. I was going to say I know that they were talking about it in the modding Discord, but then you hate the modding Discord and are not in there, so never mind. I was going to tell you, you can probably give some valuable input there, but yeah, never mind. But this one, honestly, this is so good together. The liquor, beer, wine on top of this is just beautiful. I can see already Baloo on fire today after this stream. The propaganda chat in Discord is gonna be overflowing, obviously. You can even fit one of the small sales signs here, and then of course, since Chaos claimed this, we also need a proper Chaos fun graffiti. Usually, I would assume people are bright and they wouldn't make graffiti on their own store. But then Chaos Fun is the biggest customer in his own business, and I'm not saying he's a heavy drinker, but clearly he's a heavy drinker. So sometimes he forgets where he lives and he does graffiti everywhere, including his own place. And welcome in, Adi. Nice to see you here. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that will become more normal when first people start doing it. My decal packs are not very well organized, so I'm the last one to talk here. Beautiful. I'm very happy with those decals. Really, I think this is all we need. From now on, we can dive in and give this some more appropriate actual detailing on the outside as well, because we definitely need a lot of drinking, and I know that Jay has asked a lot about it in the past. Maybe it's finally time for Agendo to release the vomit decal pack, because in front of the liquor store that would definitely be something we could make use of. Let's see, with these, I love using some of the shop racks in front, and I think this is actually bottles. Yeah, this is at least partly bottles. I can imagine all of this to be alcohol, so we definitely need to prop one or two on the outside of the liquor store here, so people can grab some of those nice bottles. Well, yeah, the Turpis Chaser got claimed really quick. I do think you don't have all of your businesses in Los Vagos, Chaos, but I do think you claim most of your own businesses in Los Vagos by now. So it shouldn't be that far off anymore. And now the question is, obviously we want people drinking out here. And generally, I don't mind tables, but then for something like a liquor store, I think what is more appropriate is what we did here, and just use barrels where people are standing around while they're drinking. Because, I mean, it's a liquor store, it's not a proper restaurant, you don't really go there. Well, you can totally drink in public, you just need to be a word American and put a paper bag on top of it, because clearly, if you see somebody with a paper bag drinking in public, then that's not a problem at all, and suddenly becomes totally legal and non-alcoholic. But then if there is no paper bag on top of your drink, then clearly that's a problem. Because I don't know. I guess we mainly gotta have it out here in the front. So I'm gonna go in and just... the question is, do we also want place for planters or not? Maybe not right in front of the liquor store. Maybe here we give a bit of a drinking area, and then here we can turn this into a bit of a small shitty plaza. I mean, yes, but also not in Los Vagos. That is all a question of if you can afford to pay off the major. And let's say KS Fun has good connections in Los Vagos, because he's a big business owner in the city. So yes, you're correct if you're not KS Fun, but then KS Fun totally can do this with a normal license. Though you are on, maybe I have to take that back, because now KS Fun is going on to very thin territory. You cannot hire my propaganda minister. He is very much needed in Los Vagos and busy fulfilling his work as propaganda minister. He sadly cannot join your marketing department. In fact, one of these definitely should be KS Fun as well, because I'm sure KS Fun again is the best customer in his own business. Maybe even this could be KS Fun. KS Fun suffering from a midlife crisis and feels like he's getting old, so he colored his hair green to resonate with the youth. I do quite like it. KS Fun, this is you enjoying a drink in front of your own business. So guys, enjoy KS Fun face reveal. Clearly, this is the man himself. Fashionable as always. So beautiful. I'm not gonna question anything about that. And we're gonna also, this is totally not cyberbullying, I have nothing to do with this. But then KS business is very popular and everybody's having a good time and drinking, but then will somebody join KS Fun drinking in his barrel? I don't think so. In fact, if this would not be KS Fun's own liquor store, he would have probably been kicked out a few times already. But then, since it's his own business, can't really kick out the owner due to misbehavior. But there is a lot of misbehavior happening over here. So stay away from this gentleman, he's bringing only trouble. So you wanna get involved here? Well, yeah, actually, Mrs. KS Fan can kick him out. In fact, maybe Mrs. KS Fan is standing here in front of the business, scolding her husband. This is Mrs. KS Fan, and she is scolding her husband, being drunk all day. Because yes, I very much agree that probably is the one to scold KS Fan. In a different place than Los Vagos, I would question why this guy is not wearing shoes and just standing here in his bar shorts, but then it's Los Vagos, I'm not gonna question anything. Alright, there we go. That's a proper startup from the area. Now we do wanna turn this a bit cuter than it is currently. And welcome in, Morquens. I'm sure I butchered that name very bad, so gladly correct me on what I'm doing, but welcome in, mate. And sure, I can give you a quick city tour. I'm not gonna keep it too long, because most people in my city or in my chat know my city very well, and I don't want to bore people too much, but impromptu city tour. All of this, holy shit, my computer is dying, ignore the frames. But all of this is Los Vagos. I don't know why my computer is running so much worse today than it usually does, but some days it's like that. And Los Vagos is some crazy redneck, woke redneck. We're not the wrong kind of rednecks, but paradise. We have a lot of people living in trailers or mobile homes or reconverted train wagons with people with their own skate park in the bottom, and this is where Los Vagos started. And again, rednecks know how to live life. They build out nice mansions like that. Oh shit, welcome in and thanks for the follow, and also epic, we reached the follow goal, so very nice. And yeah, this is our local biker club that does a lot of trouble in the city that probably you don't want to mess with, or if you mess with them, then be prepared for trouble. And then, I don't know, this is our cute downtown. This is a comically small palace for me to govern from. I think this should be a lot bigger and is not really appropriate size for Los Vagos anymore. I can barely manage to govern from here with how small it is, so it's a bit unfortunate. And I guess here we have a cute beach in the middle of the town. This is a bit more a low income side of Los Vagos, though people seem happy even if they're broke. It's a cute place, really. And then down here we have a bit of an art exhibition and a hipster area around it. This part is a bit broken and we're gonna dive back into it soon. And then here we have a lot of trailer parks, because this is probably, actually, if you're talking about Los Vagos or about GTA 5, this is Trevor's trailer, pretty much one-to-one recreation made by the amazing Habermeister James that we use in here. And then here we have our giant botanic garden, which the only ever YouTube video I made in my life is about. If you want to have a more in-depth view of the botanic garden, you can check that out. And then here we have a bit of rural farmland where people are doing nice and crazy things. And I guess that's a very short and quick overview of the city. And that's a very big compliment. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. We very much like graffiti and we very much like rundown and shitty places in here. So, big compliment. We've been building this for a while now as well. This took us like 5, by now probably 6 months. And yeah, this is what we've been wasting all of our time on the last 2 to 3 weeks. Which this is a nice mining area that we built very long. And then this is the quarry right next to it that is pretty much finished beside this cliff. This cliff here is not finished yet. We will dive into that soon. But yeah, this is the quarry side of the build, and then this is where we're gonna end at eventually, and here we're gonna build some shitty rundown abandoned gold mine. We have put down the base layout and some very early detailing already, and now we're slowly working our way up there from down here. And again, today we mainly spent a stream on working out this liquor store, and then I guess we'll dive in to build out this World Community Center and the strip mall a bit more. And then work our way slowly back there, but we are very slow here. The realism that you guys enjoy so much also means we're very slow at playing the game, so we make very slow progress. But thanks for the kind words, mate. maybe this, and I would like to even get planters in here, but this is a bit
Wow,
squeezed
is
up.
very nice.
So I think, and it's very nice. And we're gonna use these smaller ones here. And then here, maybe we can use the actual big, proper, beautiful planter. One of these nice ones from Jay. I'm always a big fan of them if you have a bit more of a public space. They work very well at creating some kind of plazas. I mean, we have a biker club already. We can... I actually was thinking about it because we do need to make sure the biker club either get some different biker club in the city, but this is our biker club with actually Los Vagos, clearly the most muscular name anybody could give a biker gang. And not only does our biker gang have a very, very manly name and logo, they also love doing graffiti and is very manly graffiti as well. Because clearly this is how bikers feel about being bikers. So the question is if either we brand a second nice biker gang to get some biker fights in the city, or if we need to make sure to bring the bikers more into different areas of the city and give them second clubhouses and anything. And welcome in, Cosmic and Urban. Nice to see you cuties here. How are you two pretty people doing today? I guess so. I feel a bit sad about giving a second gang, because this is a gang of my very, very first ever viewer who has gotten a new house and a small kid, so it's not that much time anymore. But I feel a bit bad about rivaling his biker gang while he's not even in the city to fight back at the moment. So I keep it in mind, because I agree we do need more bikers, but maybe that has to wait till Michael can defend himself more again. What did Gaga do that you need your revenge? What happened there? Actually, a scooter gang is pretty lit. I will not disagree with Sunny there. You know what, Sunny? You got me sold so hard. This is gonna... Sunny just solved our build idea for today. We are gonna turn this into the headquarters of the scooter gang. So just to memorize what we're gonna do here, the scooter gang obviously is the actual gangsters in the city. The bikers are just there to be loud and annoying. But then these people here, the scooter gang, not only do they ride way more stylish kind of motorcycle, they also own the crime scene in Los Vagos. Great point. Baloo and Sunny working together. So we're not gonna get the second biker club, but we're gonna get the scooter gang as well. I'm a big fan of this. In fact, very big fan of this. See, this is why I like you guys in chat, because I have many stupid ideas, but sometimes I miss the right stupid idea in the perfect moment. And then I have cuties like you in chat to remind me of the true and important things to build in the town. Do we have enough space here to fit this one, or is this too crowded? We do have enough space. So we put one of these here to break it up a little and make the area a tad nicer. And then here we have too little space. Yeah, he is walking through there. I can fix that up later. For now, we're just gonna ignore that, but we can
I
fix
wish
up the
we
passing
had a
bit.
cactus.
I also wish we had a cactus, very much so, in fact, but is not supposed to be. Can you, Cosmic, can you post that name into my Discord so I don't forget about it? And then, yes, they can, and I will make some cute logo for that scooter gang. I mean, I also like Lambok Pizza Service Hover or J, but then nobody who's not German will get that. Otherwise, great name, but doesn't work that way. Well, yeah, it's my favorite German conversations are when people who don't speak German, like Cosmic, get involved. That will bring us very far for sure. Honestly, can't go wrong with Jan. Surely you can answer that to everything. Honestly, this turned cuter a lot quicker than anticipated. One thing I can definitely tell is we need a bit more high vegetation here to break this up. In fact, even bigger. Something like this, and maybe even one here. This seems a lot more natural already. Yeah, we're getting there. Gonna take a while, but sooner or later, this entire area is gonna be finished. And guys, I'm so happy. This really... I wanted to build a mine here since we started the city half a year ago. And now seeing this area finally start getting a bit more completed, I am very, very much happy about it. So, thank you, Cosmic. Now what we definitely need here is a bit more trashed up things. So we definitely need multiple different trash props. One of them is not indexed in Find It, so we're gonna have to find it here, and it's these by J. Because I think it would be very appropriate to have some dumpster out here. Maybe not right in front of people's windows, that seems a bit harsh. Maybe we better turn it to this side instead. And yes, you always need to sink those into the ground slightly, because they have those very ugly white base below them. I mean, maybe. I do think you're onto something. If we can make a storyline how I maybe don't qualify as German, I'm very much not gonna be mad about that. It in fact is all made up. I'm clearly not German. I live in Los Vagos. It is correct, Gaga. You do make a point there. And then generally with businesses in Los Vagos, people like to be a bit trashy, right? Here in the liquor store of Chaos, people actually very well behaved and they don't really put trash anywhere. But Chaos, the business owner himself, he cannot behave. So instead of actual people and visitors trashing his liquor store, Chaos does this himself. People keep telling him they don't mind, they can help picking up some of the things, and then Chaos just screams at them and tells them to go away. It's his store, his business, nobody is allowed to clean beside him. So sadly, this is what is come to. Which, questionable, I would take better care of my own liquor store, but then this is Chaos doing, I'm clearly innocent. Wait, you don't have to be sorry. It's your own store. You do whatever you want with it, but I don't know. Maybe should think about hiring a cleaning lady. I mean, everybody is open to ask for businesses in the city, and I'm sure I'll get to it, but then often I will take a long time to get there because we don't have that much places for business left here. And then after we're done here, we're mainly gonna dive in here and make more industry. So not that many commercial units for now. But I say that and it's not entirely true because we have to dive in this entire area and properly fix it up, and we have a lot of space for commercial units there. So all of you are welcome to do so. I mean, message it in my Discord, and if I have a good idea to make a nice logo around it, then I will turn it into business, but no promises. But I will try. If we can make something appropriate, then for sure. Okay, we need some normal bins as well, and then I think we're already pretty much not finished, but at a good spot with this. And we're actually gonna, because Chaos built one of his own liquor stores in his city, and I definitely want to copy something he did because it was a very cute detail. And since this is also Chaos Fun's place, we can pretend we're not just stealing his glorious idea, but we can pretend we're actually just taking inspiration and using it as homage, while clearly we're just shamelessly stealing his good ideas. But we don't have to admit so. We can just pretend we're nice. But what we're gonna do, what Chaos did, and I thought was very nice, is flip over a trash can. Which I should have raised this. Something like this, and now obviously we're gonna have to move it a bit more appropriate. And now decals that generally are underappreciated in my build, not because they're not amazing, but because I keep forgetting about them, is Elgando's litter and trash decals, which totally we will have to add some here. Broken bottles, broken glass. This is how Chaos treats his property. Again, generally there is not much dirt in Los Vagos. People here are responsible, but sadly not everybody is. Actually, you do have a point. Do we have a small proper... How is it even called? What is Eimer in English? My German viewers, help me out really quick. I'm being silly here. Bucket, yes. We don't have a bucket, do we? Because a bucket would be absolutely perfect for Chaos. In fact, just like with Chaos Fun's workplace, where it's always dirty around Chaos and the cleaning lady has to come, it's pretty much the same here in Los Vagos. Everybody else is kind of behaved and it's clean around their place, but then this is how it looks around Chaos. I think the only part where we might have something similar, and you can cheat a bit with those, with blanket, which should be easier. These, is there some... What if we take this one, for example, and we just lower it so Chaos has a few... This works perfect, actually. Chaos has his own cooler with drinks and bottles right outside. Do we have a barrel in any of these that we can use? Not really. So we can add some more alcohol around Chaos, because man can never get enough. No, none of these none of these brings us exactly where we want, but we can actually reuse this a bit more and put some more. I would love to be able to use this on top of the barrels as well, but obviously that's not really a thing, because then we will see the rest of the blanket. But this we can trick around a bit with. So, I mean, I still agree with Jay that we kinda need a vomit bucket, but what is the best thing we can use for it? Maybe one of the open barrels? They all have fire in them. I guess we can use a trash bin as well. It's not that creative, but whatever, we don't really have options. I guess it should be the same in that case. We can just do something like this. Is a bad... Can we, if we move this in, does it look like a bucket? Not really. What we actually need is Elgando vomit decals. Okay, if all of you agree that that's the case, then we can use this instead. We can use this one because it has a smaller flame, and we just lower it onto the ground nicely like this. And then I guess that is where Chaos vomited into, and then it inflated. Oh, I was gonna ask what that word overlap is, but it's the decal overlapping onto it. Sir, let me take the barrel. No more ugly bleeding. Okay, this is optimal. Actually, I don't mind it. I actually like that idea a lot again. So we're gonna take the safety pylon, I think they are called. I mean, I don't want to spoiler too much, but Gaga, you and me both know that those decals might or might not already exist. You're just too lazy to share them. Okay, don't stop moving so much, Chaos. What are you doing? Stay still. Okay, that's not optimal, but it's fine. We need to EDT this a little anyways. We definitely wanna turn this... Hold on, first we turn this so we can flip it cleanly to the back. Like this, kinda, a bit more slightly, like this. And now, which is a right angle? This is a right angle. Okay, now we put it backwards a bit. If this is not a proud liquor store owner, I don't know what is. This does seem like a very proud liquor store owner. Sadly, he keeps moving his head in a bit over, or his head outside of the hat, which is a bit weird, but if he stands there normally, then this really is beautiful. I mean, is this not beautiful? This is the perfect liquor store with its owner, and welcome in, Chris. Nice to see you here. If anybody of you is into good CS1 content, I don't know that much CS1 creator, so bear with me and my ignorance, but Eclipse Chris does absolutely hilarious and beautiful Easter eggs in the city. And I had an absolute blast in there lately, so for all Cities 1 players, go check out Eclipse Chris, especially if you're into cursed and degenerate builds, which clearly you are, else you wouldn't be in my channel. And yeah, have a good night, mate. We are pretty much in time with you going to bed, because I am very happy with this liquor store. I would say, beside me having to fix the word routing of the Sims off stream a bit so they don't walk straight through that, we are kinda furnished. But yeah, have a good night, Chaos, and thanks for that amazing and cute tickle pack. The only things we need to do here to bring this a bit more into the vibe of our build is obviously making this dirt
nice.
and then sanding this up a bit so it belongs into our desert. But yeah, we're close to being done with this build. And then we're gonna move down the road and tackle other things. And yes, in fact, the cow barbecue was hilarious. In general, your build seems to have a lot of hilarious elements in it, so I was a big fan. What maybe is something that you need in your city as well, which is not as good as a cow barbecue, but something you should also build in your city is something like this, which I'm sure I don't even need to tell you what this place here is. I'm sure you can figure yourself, and I do think this would very much fit the vibe of your city as well. Because yes, in fact, this is a cockfight for people who think MMA is a bit too boring, and that have enough of people hitting each other with chairs. I mean, a duck fight seems very appropriate for your city, so yes, you should totally do that. And here I want to see real quick, I think here staining probably becomes a bit difficult because we will bleed, but we're actually not bleeding so bad, so that is fine. Can see where we get away without bleeding too much, and then we just leave the rest. And obviously, as we do everywhere, we're gonna have to sand this area up a bit. And with this decal, now we have to be very careful that we don't get silly bleeding. So I'm gonna move this up the 0.3 to make sure we don't actually bleed on anything surrounding. Yeah, mate, have a good night, and thanks for tuning in. Alright, really, probably a little more graffiti just because it's Los Vagos and the building is lacking a bit of graffiti, but otherwise this seems very appropriate. And I know Jay always complains about me putting graffiti in weird areas, but then the truth is, Jay, it's one of the big challenges of graffiti to climb in weird spots and get your graffiti in places where nobody can easily bomb you, and it's gonna stay a bit. So obviously a space like this you would say is unrealistic. I would say it's super realistic because people climb up here to leave a nice rooftop. Yes, in areas like this, it's generally not super much graffiti and it's not that flooded, but that seems like the most attractive places to put any graffiti down anywhere. And welcome in, Matsker. Nice to see you here. Okay, it's a private property, so we're not gonna put too much graffiti and be super disrespectful, but then it is right next to the liquor store with tons of wasted people, so I'm sure people will draw on things a little. And I'm glad to see, Matsker, that you're properly enjoying cities again, because for a while it seemed like you were a bit burned out, but then lately I've been seeing you put it there. Sunny, what do you mean? Like, as somebody who is pretty much in London roughly once a month, I can tell you, at least in London, nothing gets put away. Like, if you ever go into East London or drive the overground, it's all graffiti everywhere. I'm sure outside of London that behaves quite a bit different, but London really is one gigantic graffiti. There is not much town in there. And yeah, I guess in Germany it's also very common that pretty much no matter where you go you have graffiti. So I don't consider this to be very unrealistic. It depends. Like one of the... See, if you pay a lot of attention about graffiti in London, this gentleman here, Mr. 10-foot, is probably my favorite British graffiti artist. And if you open your eyes in London a little bit, you will see a 10-foot piece pretty much every 10 meters. And you can very clearly tell from where he's drawing and what he's drawing that that very surely isn't commissioned. I'm also sure, yes, it's a big marketing city, so I'm sure there also is commissioned graffiti in London. But then a lot of it definitely isn't. See, now why am I allowed to do this? It makes no sense. Generally, Metzger told me this, and he's right. When you have snapping on, you usually can't use your keybinds to raise and lower things. But I have snapping on, and I'm using my keybinds right now to raise and lower stuff. This should not be working, but sometimes it is working, and I don't know why. Like, this is all keybind right now, even though we have snapping, so very weird. Honestly, very weird. I never understood this, because sometimes you can totally raise and lower it while having snapping on, which I would love this to be the default behavior, but not always. Gaga, you damaged Sunny. Sunny post poop knife emote every single time he enters my chat. Which please don't ask what that is about. If anybody is not aware, just don't ask and stay innocent. Here, I'm gonna have to play around a bit because I don't exactly know what we're gonna do here. But I think, especially in this side, see something I want to use here that Jay maybe appreciates because I don't get that much use for them usually. But these are some very cute planters. God damn, English is a hard language. That Jay built a while ago. And I think they're very cute. They are also very difficult to use, but then look at how well they fit here to give this a bit more man-made shape. And then together with these here on that side. So I love it. The only place I ever managed to use those appropriately before is here for this weird raised outside eating plaza area, and finally the second time we find a good usage for those. What do you mean, how do I raise down the stuff? You mean what I just said with the keybinds even though clipping is on? I don't know, I just use page up and page down, which should have not worked in that situation, but clearly... See, I'm using page up and page down, which should not work right now, because I have snapping on, but it does work right now, so I'm not gonna complain. Yeah, it's just a keybinding, that's why I'm so confused, because when clipping is on, it should not allow you to use your keybind to raise and lower things. But again, quite clearly, it does allow me to do so at the moment. This side we're gonna turn very green and nice plaza-like, and in here we're gonna keep some space to turn this into some weird small kinda market slash flea market. For me, this works sometimes. That's why I was initially so confused when I asked people in chat a lot why now it does not work anymore. Now I don't know what changed, why it just worked. Now I use the keybinds. Now it does what it should be doing. Because we have snapping on, it does the weird underground mode thing here. I turn snapping off, I can use the keybinds. But you guys saw that I could just use the keybinds even though I had snapping on. Makes no sense why that happens, but I noticed that a few times in the past that works perfectly fine. Even though I have snapping on for some reason. Yes, we should double this one up to get this a bit more symmetric, and we're actually double up the entire front, and then in the back we're gonna go different. But to double it up directly, we're gonna go here, and actually I'm silly, we have 3 different versions of that one, so we should actually vary in the version. Hold on, why is this one a different? Oh, because I used that one instead. Okay, we're gonna have to correct that. We want this one. Why is this the dark one? This should be the light one as well. Well, again, we're just gonna delete this and this because we don't want the same one. And now, yeah, now they're all dark for some reason. Not sure why. But now we have 3 different ones, which is a bit nicer. Yeah, these are JS planters, which I think they massively help for the plaza. So if anybody is wondering where to get those, as with most cool things I'm using that are not vanilla, they are mostly JS custom assets. And yeah, I very much like these. And really, you could not fix your tree issue. That is sad, Elgando, because I actually was happy to see that you enjoy playing the game for once, but I guess that has been a short stint of you playing the game for once. Because yeah, that obviously is very tilting if that just breaks for no reason. Okay, and now here... the terrain is a bit unsmooth, but I do think that's fine. We do need to lower it. It's gonna make the placement a bit more difficult, but we wanna take the commercial ones and then turn this into a very small kind of flea market. I don't want this to be too much, I guess. So Americans get a bit educated. Maybe they can try to read a newspaper for once. So we're gonna put down some newspaper machines there. But it's so weird, Elgando. Like, just so people get what happened, Elgando was trying to play the game, which rarely happens, because Elgando always busy making nice decals for all of us. And something in his save happened that all his tree turned brown, and is very weird because it's only like that in that save and nobody understands what happened there. So not sure what the issue of you was there, to be honest. But unfortunate, honestly unfortunate. I guess good for us, because that means Elgando is gonna go back to make decals, but then sad for Elgando, because he would deserve to play the game sometimes as well. Is there no third color? Well, I guess this one is a little different. And then we can put a table in between to have the... Actually, there is a good fitting table here already. We're gonna fit something like this in between, and then we can put the cellar behind it. Move the right one slightly. Something like this. But yeah, it's weird, because I've never heard about that bug before you had it either, Elgando. Like, never encountered myself, nor hear anybody ever encountering it before. So strange, really. Guess we should go in here and prop this up with vegetation a bit before we work out the entire flea market. Because I want this to be kinda overgrown, so it's gonna take a bit more space than just the planters. Can work out this side, but then we definitely need to figure the other side a bit better. Okay, something like this, and again, now we have to do some vegetation first. Yeah, that's why I'm talking about it on stream, because many people in my stream are very clever and good at the game, while I am not. Maybe somebody else can help you, Elgando, or at least knows what the issue might have been caused by. Yeah, it's very strange. Again, Elgando tried, and it's just like that in his save.
Bye,
And bye-bye, Sunny. Have a good night. And I guess same for Gaga. Also, bye-bye and have a good night.
Bye, have a great time.
Everybody at once. Holy shit. Okay, all of you cuties have a good night. And again, thanks for the follow, Morquence, and nice to see you here. Hope I see you a bit more often in future, maybe. But yes, thanks for tuning in, and nice night to everybody. Yes, sweet dreams to all of you. In fact, dream of good cities ideas that you can build the next time you're playing. Unless you're like Elgando and you get your trees broken and then rage quit the game, which I don't wish on anybody. How far do we have to lower these to fit in appropriate? Something like even further. Because I want them very low. I want just slight color accents in there. Which whenever I use these planters, I hide most of the planters so you don't see them that much anymore, but I do still think it's important they are there to give some foundation for the plant work we do. Yeah, never played. That's literally the only mod setting I care about in this entire game, is having tree grows off. Tree grows off and then the wind as well. I find horrible. But whenever my settings reset, the only two mods I really care about having the correct settings is plop the growables to not have stuff level on accident, and then the other one is tree controller to turn off tree growth and tree wind. Because really I hate the look of both of that. And this looks pretty nice. I quite like it, and actually we did not use that much more space. So we should have enough space to put some nice planters here in the middle and then put a bit more market stuff on that side. Now let's have a look if we can also get this one a bit more planted and colorful, which this one is even harder to properly populate because the planters itself are overlapping so much and have so little space, but this looks pretty appropriate already. Maybe one more here, and now we're gonna take the two small ones and go in this as well. See, now again, I'm using the keybind and we have snapping on. It is an absolute mystery to me why the behavior of the game keeps adjusting with that. Like, it should not allow me to use the keybind right now, but it does. Why does it? I don't know. I can't tell you. I can tell you it shouldn't let me do it, but it does. The only reason I'm so interested in this is that this is the behavior I would like to always have. So if I understand how I can make this behave the wrong way, then I'm totally gonna use that and try to break it and use it the wrong way in future. Because it's so much quicker and handier to work with it. Everything is taxable. You're very much right on that. Though again, depends how well you pay me off. If you are willing to pay off the major, then we can make an exception with taxing. But generally, of course, you're right. Something like this, I guess. And then a bit more down here, but I do think this is gonna be very appropriate. I always found that a bit buggy, to be honest, to use the tree change or age change one. Because yes, you can use different kind of ages as well. But it always looks a bit too uniform to me in comparison to how it should be. So I never been the biggest fan of using that, to be honest. In general, I don't like having the trees that come with an asset. I generally delete the trees that come with it and then want to place my own. And one small one back here, and then that should be perfectly fine already. Maybe even this one, because we only use that here in the front to get a bit more variation. Put one vertical one here with this. This, and then this one, if you turn it, it looks a bit less doubled up. I am pretty happy with this. Again, we will need a bit of planters maybe, and some benches probably in this area. And then in the back, I'm not entirely sure what to do. I think actually I do have a good idea here to keep this not super boring. And we're gonna turn this into a nice basketball court. Which again, not super logical, but who cares? As long as we can get something, otherwise we would have just put a plant or something boring back here, which I don't know, I think is a bit stinky compared to actually building out something nice and interesting instead. So something like this maybe, and then we should even have space to put a little planters left and right of it, but then the area at least has a bit more proper vibe than just doing the boring same old planters everywhere. I don't want to know how much I use this planter. This is one of Jay's planters, and this thing is saving half the city. Like, we use this planter so incredibly much in Los Vagos that I don't know what I would do if I would not have access to it. And I guess we should actually keep it symmetric, so if we use that one there, then we should also put this one a bit closer. Doesn't have to be perfectly symmetric, but at least the margins are nicer like this. I guess this will be too big, but I wanna see if maybe... Yeah, way too big, never mind. I don't know why I even wanted to try that. I should have known that. Then I do think we just want some very small ones like this here, and we can add it up with a bit of benches in the middle to give this some nice plaza vibe, really. And maybe here in the very end we can use one of the bigger ones again. One of these is a perfect mix, really. Actually, now looking at this, I want the middle one gone. This gone, and then this instead is more interesting. I quite like it. All of this looks a bit weird still because there's no bollards. Obviously, we will have to bollard this out as well. I very much like it, but I think to actually make that idea a bit more appropriate, we would need to style out the truck with proper decals, else I don't know how to make that properly visible, how you can do that. Let's have a look at because generally I do like the idea. But what kind of vehicle could we use for that? Because this is maybe actually this. Because this has a lot of space to put decals on it as well. So we could actually turn that into a proper decal, making this into a denunciation truck, how you just called it. Where though? Because I generally thought I'm gonna put bollards everywhere. So if we put bollards everywhere here, we can't really drive in with a vehicle. So it must be happening. Well, actually, this is pretty solid. We can turn it. We're gonna put it here. But we will have to. I will have to make some decals for that, else nobody's gonna get what it is. Because we need some kind of a window, a bit like a food truck actually, and then some decal that explains people what this is for. But I have it in mind. We're gonna use this. No, this is the new area. See, Metzger, the way I want this to behave is even this I want to be somewhat intact. But in this area of the city, I want a lot of empty businesses to be there. So this is where we're slowly getting more and more died out. But then this is the part that I still want to be fully alive and functional. And then actually this undetailed, but just thrown out here, I want some kind of, how would you call this in English? Bergrutsch or something?
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay
Welcome in, Mother. Thanks for the raid and welcome in. I hope you had a nice stream today. I love all of your ideas, Baloo. Some of them I don't think, just with the state of the game, some of them maybe I can't do, but the more good ideas I have, the more good things I have to play with. So I generally like it. Just throw everything out there. And how was your stream today, Mother? Probably he's switching computers right now. I'm already kinda used to it. I can't do that, Elgando. As much as I love you for making the vomit decals, if I close the game while on stream, my loading times are like twice as long as while not streaming. So I need a long time to relaunch the game. I only close the game if I'm crashing, otherwise no proper
My
point.
God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure,
I can't,
everyone?
I'm
What's the
sorry.
procedure?
Stay calm.
And welcome in, Boyle. Nice to see you, mate. And thanks for the raid. What have you been streaming today? Also Cities or GTA today? Wow, Elgando lying to me as always, breaking my heart playing with my feelings like that. Well, yeah, in fact, back-to-back raid, very much appreciated. We also use a lot of Elgando trash here today, because some people cannot behave while going to a liquor store. And notably, this gentleman here, KS Fun himself, has been misbehaving and throwing down a lot of trash around him. Yeah, that's nice, and welcome in, and I'm sure Elgando himself will very much like the sound of you using a lot of Elgando decals. Yeah, mate, no worries, of course. Go grab something to eat. I'm questioning my life choices here a bit with those bollards being blue. I actually sadly do think we want to recolor all of those bollards. And how has Cities been treating you today? Because I watched fashion a little earlier before going to stream myself while eating. And fashion seemed to be having a bad time today, crashing a lot, at least in the earlier parts of the stream. Which is crazy to me, because my game has been so incredibly stable and problemless for the last month that I can't really complain about any of that. And I guess I could actually, hold on, can I not use this way more clever? If we use this, well, I guess we also color that. Can we make this even smaller? Oh! Okay. This is wonderful. And now we need to turn this to props. I would have done this so complicated. I'm not good at using the new repainter or recolor mod. But that just saved us a lot of time that I understood how to use that better. But yeah, I still never, sadly, took the time to properly familiarize myself with it. I was wondering if you actually, because you can, I even did that myself. Look, Elgando, I have one plant where I used recolor on, and since it's broken, I do think I could reset this somehow. But do you see this? This is not how this looks usually. But I used recolor and I, on accident, somehow replaced the base model, which I think you can reset somehow, but I am actually not sure. Wait, let's have a look. Because you used to be able to somehow tell this, that you want this on all of the assets. How was the reset? There used to be a reset on these with like an icon where you could kind of like a refresh icon in the browser where you could reset the base foundation. But yeah, maybe you actually recolored 3 and it applied it to everything. Have you asked Jen about it already? Because really, no matter if it's recolor or tree controller, it's most likely Yen mod related, I would guess. And usually, he's a very nice guy, glad to help, so I'm sure if you provide proper logs, he'd gladly have a look at it. Here, generally we want graffiti here, but then especially here on the back where we have a bit of a basketball court, we should definitely go in with a bit more action. Yeah, I guess probably. But maybe have a look at it, like if you click one of the trees and it shows you the color palette, then yeah, maybe it's recolor related. Okay, something like this, and a little tags around to keep this a bit less in boring shape. Oh, it's all different. That is so weird, because I don't think you can do that easily with the recolor. Maybe if you were on the biggest brush ever and accidentally went over half of your map, but yeah, that's a bit weird actually. Here we're gonna put a small Easter egg, which I always enjoy, and we're gonna put a little monster on the court here. Like that, and then actually we forgot something that is very relevant and we can't forget, and it's the actual ball. It also looks like the basket definitely is a tad too high for reality, but who cares? It's just got hung a little too high. That's actually the case often with proper basketball courts as well, that they are either a little too high or too low. At least in Germany, if you go to random one in a park or in a playground, I feel like many of them are not in the right heaps either. But beside placing Sims, we are actually done with this part as well. Yeah, never mind, I take it back, because we definitely want a bit of trash cans and benches. But all of this is gonna be pretty quick. Here we still need a very little Sims as well. So after we finish this, we are gonna go ahead and finish up these two plots, and then really just a strip mall, and then maybe we can start out a bit with the scooter club that we got advice to build today, which I love as an idea. But then we are very close, because I know Metzger keeps being let down in here, because he's so excited for us to finally fully build out this part of the city, and it's the very last part we're gonna tackle. But I've been preparing a little already. You can see here in this word asset, I started covering up some of the Chinese signs, which is a bit tedious with right everywhere, so it's annoying, but has to be done. I started with boring things like that to get this entire build to be fairly quick, because really the layout of all of this is set in stone. So all of this is just the detailing. And I know I'm a slow player, but the detailing is generally not the part that takes us so long. It's generally figuring out the area, knowing what we want to do that we're very slow with. And then once we detail, things are generally going fairly fast. For my standards. Still very slow compared to how most people play the game, but for my standards, I should say. And again, we don't want that much graffiti here, maybe a small one here in the front, and then I am already perfectly happy with this. Morgan here, and maybe Gaga, because Gaga can never behave and always dirty our city. But this seems perfectly fine to me. And so we're done with decals entirely. We should go in and also do the sand and the staining real quick. This is a metal roof. Sadly, the colors of the sand decals get very badly affected by the metal roofs. So this is gonna be a bit finicky, but it's fine as long as they look dirty. They don't all have to look the same kinda dirty. In fact, there is quite a lot of metal roofs in this area that look pretty similar. And was it just like that after you loaded back in? Nah, you can't. Sadly not. I wish, but those are not sub... I mean, I can try again, but I'm fairly sure I tried in the past, and in those packs, they are not sub-elements, but they're actually elements of the mesh, because they are from one of the DLCs. I think they are from the Dragon Gate pack, and I think all of them have those signage built onto it. So I believe the answer to that is sadly no. We can have a look at it in a moment if I remember wrongly, but I don't think so. Maybe even a little bit of grudge here in the front. Alright, and some staining at the side, and then we're gonna recheck if Metzger is right with what he's saying, because he very well might as well be, and I just forgotten about it or mistake it with a different asset. But I know that some of them have signs you sadly can't remove. We're placing these very slow, but it is very easy to get ugly bleeding here if we're not careful, so have to do this a bit delicate. I say that, and we got a very little bleeding here, but it's not that bad. The one last thing I want to try is if we can actually stain these a little without bleeding onto the building, and yes, we can. Nice! That looks a lot better now worked in. And let's have a quick look. I believe this. I actually would like to be lazy here and not have to do propaganda, but yeah, look at this massacre. All of these are untargetable as sub-objects. Which I was fairly certain about that, because I had the same issue with those in a different part of town. Which again, now we have right everywhere, it's not too bad, right? Because even these angled ones, you can see, if we look from very close in a bit of an angle, you can see my square on top of it. Same goes for this one, which we could fix that up to be even more seamless, but seamless enough really, and we can copy this one over here, so that should be really quick. But then we should cover these signs as well, which again is annoying because it is pretty tedious to cover them up with right everywhere, but I don't mind. In Los Vagos itself, I don't even want to cover them up because I do think this is really cool as a kind of mini Chinatown, right? But then in this supposedly half-dying, run-down Gold Rush city, it is the wrong place to get a Chinatown. Where we will use this properly as a Chinatown is here. Because here I think this fits very nice as a kind of Chinatown part of the city, but then down there I don't think it fits. Sadly, because that would fit us or save us a lot of work if we would not have to do all of that, but yeah, I do think we have to. One of the things I'm actually been curious about, where I would like to hear your guys' input, because we currently have no proper light in any of this area. Because I would assume this is an area where people mainly ask or work during the daylight. And when it's dark, people don't really work that much. Is that accurate? Or do we need to fill up the area here with a bit of industrial lighting as well for the night? Because currently, if we go into the night, this is very dark. Which I think is quite logical for an area like this, but I guess maybe it's a bit too dark. Especially maybe here with a train station, we should put a bit more lighting. But I'm wondering if you guys think this needs to be lit up properly, or if this should stay relatively dark. Because I quite like the look of this in the darkness as well, with how this looks pretty abandoned during the night when nobody is here to work. And I guess that you have a little light in the city itself, which I don't mind, because we actually want people to live as well. Here is a bit sad that all three of those have lightning. Because I would like to have some of these look abandoned, which is a bit more difficult if the windows are shining, but maybe we can manage to cover them up appropriately with window board, so that's not visible as much. Sorry for the flashbang, I forgot about it. Usually I warn about the flashbang coming before I turn it off. I think you're right. Like, it should be little, but it's a bit too little. Well, actually, Baloo, I did not show you something. You will love what I'm about to show you now. Because you know how we looked a lot at this and we were like, it's fine. Visually, it looks great to have fencing, but we're scared about people stealing our metal, so we put police everywhere. First thing that I still have to do is we need a few more police lookouts in this side, because here we were kind of short on this. But we have the ultimate control now. I decided that none of this is safe enough yet, and we need to make sure people are not able to smuggle out stuff from Los Vagos. So I went in and built this, which they very rarely fit, or not rarely, but closely hit this, but they do fit under it.
Great success.
Eventually. I know you ask about this, and I was unsure about it at that point, but the more I look at the area now, the more I think, as always, I should have not questioned you. You of course, as always, were right, Baloo. So I built this out off stream. Which still, actually, is one of the things I forgot about a bit in this area. We do definitely still want a bit more police presence as well in this part of the build. Not much, maybe like one lookout down here and one lookout somewhere up here. But generally, it's getting there. In fact, maybe we can just do that real quick, because here we have kinda little space, but then I think this is a perfect spot to actually did what we did before. We're jumping a bit back and forth, but this is important not to forget about. Here we should put another one of those proper lookouts on the top, how we did it on the other side, if we can fit. It's like it's made for this. Look at it, Balloon. This is literally like it's made to get put up there. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Big fan of this. Please let me select any of the buildings somewhere. This. Okay, nice. Oops. And I hope this looks fine. It looks perfect. Beautiful. I like that. We're going to put a few officers there as well. This very much is Cities Skylines, and welcome in, mate. It's just Cities Skylines when you go really hard on it and you detail a lot and put a lot of decals down on it. So I take it as a compliment, but it totally is. It's just heavily modded Cities Skylines. It's a pretty cool game if you go in and add many mods into it. The question is, where do we have space to put another police patrol? Because we kinda should have some back here in the front as well, but this build is so full. We actually have very little space. Maybe a small one back here. Put one boost. This is actually a really nice spot. We have enough space to put exactly one boost and then a police vehicle next to it. And that makes for another nice state control police spot. That's very difficult, Elgano. I need to think about it. I will think about it, but I don't have a good answer for you right now. Hey, all of this is too full. We can't really afford it, but then the next spot I would still like to have a small one is up here to make sure people behave on the upper part of the mountain as well. And then I'd like a single last one somewhere up here as well. And then we're perfectly happy that we have enough police control. The problem is, if you build as dense as I do, how do you fit that even? And as always, Baloo, of course, is right. Yes, we care a lot about the safety, but not about the safety of our citizens, but the safety of our resources. So that's what gets proper protection. Maybe we should even put another... I really like the look of these outlooks on the top. It looks very much police state-like. I think that's the answer. Because then we have a nice lookout here in the middle over everything. With this one back here. We have this nice lookout here. With this one here. Maybe the very last one. Yeah, no, the more I look at it, this is so rural and people need to pass all of this anyways. I do think this is optimal, really. So now the last thing we want to do is recolor all of these and then put some cars and colors, or put some cars and guards around it to this appropriate. Honestly, Baloo, you're very good for my build. You keep reminding me about staying properly in El Presidente vibe and getting enough police patrols. So thank you, very appreciated. Okay, everything recolored, so now we put some cars and then we put some people and then we have the perfect amount of police patrol in all parts of the build. Here, and obviously we want the US ones, maybe one of these. Yeah, we need to angle it, which will be annoying because we can't touch it here. But we did it everywhere. We're not going to cheap out on the right amount of effort now in the very last stages of the build. So move it down and then we can angle it a bit. That wheel is not perfect yet, but I guess we need to actually rotate it a little bit in that axis as well. This is pretty much optimal, maybe one more to the front. I like it, that's perfectly fine, and we're gonna put some officers next to it, which obviously is not us having this opinion, it's just the only fitting person we have in the game. All of our police officers clearly are homeless, because it's the only good model we have available for them. And obviously not because we think police are all homeless. Alright, I guess that's fine. To the back, they don't need an outlook to the back. To the back we already have this one as a next. Here we definitely have enough space to put another cruiser though. Take a different one in front. But Baloo, there is one thing we can agree about, right? Obviously, people need to... They can't steal metal, because we have cops everywhere. But if they're willing to pay off the officers, then surely they can borrow some metals. I would say so. Obviously, that goes for me and not for you. You cannot let people corrupt yourself. You have to be an upstanding citizen. But if people pay me off, then we can talk about it, really. But yeah, very nice. We have that fixed up. So, perfect amount of police. See, speed bumps are a bit difficult, Balloon, because generally I agree. But the issue with that is that we have dirt roads and we have speed bump decals, but I think they look very silly because we have dirt roads. And I tried other ways to make realistic dirt roads, but I never found a proper good way for a speed bump, sadly. That works in our weird industrial or in our weird dirt road landscape. Otherwise, yes, I would agree. Maybe with something like a pipe that actually could be doable. If we use something like... Hold on. The vent ducts, if we take a Oh, hold on. We want only props, please. One of these, maybe, if we lower it into the ground a little. But speed bump is very difficult because we can't really have pavement that is a speed bump because of all of our build being exclusively sand, pretty much. So we need an actual element to use it. Yeah, I think the best one, but it's a bit small, but the best one is this one. Not this one. Where's the long one? This one. So if we place this 1, 2, 3, 4 times maybe, and we take this position, maybe we can build a speed bump from this. We can try. I'm not too confident because I struggled building speed bumps in the past, but maybe. We could have used one more even, but should be barely enough. Something like this. And I should change this. Okay. Yeah, we tried many things with that. There is ways to do that, but the easiest way sadly did not work the last time. But this actually could work. I don't hate this. Everything I tried in the past was worse than this. And it's so flat that I can even forgive that people keep driving kinda fast. I mean, we can try. Sometimes I got it to work. Sometimes I've got it to work well. We can try it again. In the past, sometimes I managed this to be appropriate. Mostly I did not manage this to look appropriate. But there is an element in the add object menu, which is called road block. Well, let's just type block. Yeah. Why can't I find it? Ah, okay, there we go. Just had to type it correctly. This, in theory, can do what we want to do. The problem is if you do this too much. We tried around with this on stream before. You get some very weird wiggly behavior of the vehicle. See, now they slow down. And he actually rolled. This is exactly what we want. Both sides, this is perfect. They are actually rolling. Usually they wiggle a lot while driving through it. I spend so much time in trying to get this right, and usually I can't get it right. But this worked perfect. I'm not sure if you guys were in chat, because we spent a lot of time trying to get this right in the past. And we actually surrendered and gave up and tried to find a different solution for it. But this works, guys. Do you see this? They're not wiggling like silly. Yeah, I will never touch this again. You are 100% right. This is exactly... I cannot believe it. They usually always wiggle weirdly and not roll like that. I'm so happy. In fact, there is one thing we're doing right now. And it's saving. The last time I saved is 1.5 hours ago. I'm silly. Gladly remind me of saving more regularly. My game is very stable, but we could never repeat something like this. I would never nail this as much. Guys, all of them, they're not wiggling at all. I'm so happy about this. It's actually absurd. I don't have autosaves. I hate autosaves. They make my game less stable. They scare me every time it autosaves. Like, I don't know. I despise autosave. I have autosave off and then I save regularly, I should say, but I just forgot to save for 1.5 hours, so I guess that's not totally accurate. I try to save regular to make up for that lack of autosave. But yeah, that's so cool. I'm actually very happy about how that worked for once, because again, we tried this many times. This never worked as well as it just did there. So very cool, and it makes our entire mine a lot more stylish now. Okay, that's more than enough benches on this side. I guess it's nice to sit back here and have a look at the people blasting. Maybe even sit that way to have some seating here on the backside. And then all we need is some trash cans and more people. Yeah, I mean, for me, the issue with autosave is really that I think it's gotten better, so probably I'd be fine with autosave. But if you move your screen a lot and you're on a bad computer like mine, because this needs to be prefaced with my computer is bad, so I need to be careful with the resources I'm using. But I lag like a bitch. When the autosave kicks in, I really lag hard, and then I had most of my crashes in the past while autosaving. And since I have autosave off, I crashed twice maybe in the last 4 months. So really, I'm not a fan of autosave. Which surely is a bit anecdotal, and maybe I would still not crash using autosave now, but I don't know. I just don't like the weird lags it gives me, even if it would be stable. Yeah, and then if it would just be the lag, I could live with that, but I actually sometimes crash during those laggy phases. If the autosave kicks in a moment where I'm doing something, then yeah, sometimes I was greeted by my desktop. So I didn't love that, and there is a rock, isn't there? That looks like there is a small, yes. See, I did see correct. Now we have to be careful. There, no more rock. Yeah, I mean, this causing traffic, I don't mind. Generally, I know that people love optimizing their traffic to have no traffic jams and everything. I want traffic jams. Clearly, this is some weird desert shithole without proper roads. There will totally be traffic jams here, and I'm happy if we can get some. So I like it. Like, even if this causes a bit of backlog and traffic jams, then very nice. No, Elgando, the roads are perfectly fine. It's just left-hand traffic. I would also prefer right-hand traffic, but then I am silly and I put this on left-hand traffic, and now I can't fix it. And it's Los Vagos, so everybody is drunk driving anyways. Not my fault, all of these people drive on the wrong side of the road, really. And again, I'm not sure if you were back already when this happened. You remember how long we spent in the past trying to get the roadblock to have people to not bounce but roll? We managed here. On first try, I clicked it down and it was perfect. Look at this, Elgando. They don't bounce. They all roll through it. It's absurd. We tried to do this so many times. And here, perfect in the first try. It's so cool. It's actually so cool. This makes me want to go back to the other side here, where we wanted to use them as well, and try again. But then I'm gonna try. But I'm sure this is gonna be bouncy. Luckily, I did not see, so I will just ignore it because I didn't see it. But look at it. I'm gonna do what I just did in the other side. I'm gonna click it down right in the middle, and I'm sure they will bounce. He's bouncing. Why is he bouncing? I did exactly what I did in the other side. He's also driving half through the pillar. I know, but that's okay. But why is this one bouncy and the other one wasn't? No, that entrance is just made in game. It's literally just a few pieces. It's the border controls and then a roof on top. So, no. But it's so weird, because here, again, we tried for like 30 minutes here in the past and couldn't get it to work, and again, it's just the same. We will just leave it, it's fine, it at least works in some point. It can't matter, but while I agree it feels like that, it just can't, technically, it can't be the reason, but yeah, I guess so. And what is he complaining? What is he trying to sell or buy? Textile, that could actually be, because we have little textile in the city. Generally, I think many of those are buggy. But yeah, textile is one of the things we produce a bit too little of, so that might as well be true. But yes, an absolute misery to me still, why that just worked. I'm not gonna complain. I'm happy it worked, but why it worked, I don't understand. Maybe one more back here, and maybe one here at the basketball court. And I guess one should also be here with the flea market, and then that's good. Now we play some people, and then we knocked out another lot. It's the same type of road. The only thing I could imagine why this one is especially difficult is that we have a lot of nodes here, right? Because the road splits. So if we look at the nodes of this, we have many nodes here kind of close to each other. This small node and then this really big node from splitting. And I do think probably the problem is that this node is so big. The thing that is a bit weird is here we don't really have that problem because the big node is quite a bit further away. So here we tried and we also couldn't get it to work. So it's not... I think what it comes down to, but you can't move this afterwards, is perfect placement. I think what really matters is that this is right in the middle of the two lanes, which this probably isn't. And here it's a bit finicky because we don't usually get much traffic here. Nice. Yeah, look at him bounce. Which again, we also did not place that perfectly in the middle, but here we should not have a node problem. I don't fully understand what this comes down to. I spent a lot of time testing this already, because I think the roadblock is super cool. When it works, like it for some reason did here. Also, if it does not work, the roadblock can still do very powerful things, right? Like if you have two roads, I don't know, or even better, in the highway, if you would want to build a weird construction site in one of the lanes on the highway, I think if you give them different possibilities, turn around it. Let's try. This is actually for science. But I would assume what happens here now is that the cars switch lane instead of going slow. Yeah, see, he switched lane. And I think all of them are gonna switch lane. So this is really powerful for many other things, like, I don't know, you wanna build a scene in a multi-lane road, but you don't wanna go into road builder and have to replace all of the lanes and all of that to get the traffic away from it. This is a one-click solution getting you the same thing. So this is really powerful indeed, but it is sadly very difficult to use for slowing the cars down. Because again, I think you can also get the slowing down, but then it depends how far on the lane you are. Maybe here on the highway it's gonna be even easier. I'm gonna try something. We're gonna block off these two lanes, and then this lane we're gonna try to cover half a little. And now I would assume they avoid these two lanes, and here he either bounces or drives through slowly. Okay, now I actually know, because the roadblock is here as well. Now, why is he not bouncing? This is in the middle of the... Why are they not bouncing, guys? This one is right in the middle of the lane. Make this make sense? This should bounce. Okay, so with what we learned here, but we also tried that in the past unsuccessfully. But let's use our new knowledge. You can't overlap them, because I know from the past, from trying around, if you overlap them, they entirely stop driving. So we're gonna be careful to not overlap them, but put them kinda completely on the lane. I have a big feeling they will bounce here. Okay, he doesn't even bounce, he just refused driving entirely. And he rolls. This one rolls, this one does not drive at all. So this one is fine, and this one we're gonna move a bit further left. But yeah, make it make sense. Like, again, this is a really powerful tool. Maybe somebody else can test a bit with it as well. Now he bounces because he's too close to that one. Hold on, we need to delete this one as well and then place them further. Something like this, maybe? Maybe now they both will bounce because we're so far away. But it's generally weird because the margins on the lane really seem to matter. Maybe we need to ask Jay if that is possible. I'm wondering. Jay is probably not in chat anymore. But maybe it's possible to adjust the size of this marker. And then if you get it a lot smaller, it's easier to put it central in a lane. Okay, he's rolling, not bouncing. Now we want to see the other side. That was perfect. Please give us some traffic in the other side. But this is so curious, because if this works, we spent so much time testing this before in the past and didn't get it to work. Road maintenance is shit, because it keeps breaking all the time anyway, so
Bye, have a
we
great
can't
time.
really tell. And good night, Baloo. Thanks as always for tuning in, and thanks for all of your nice ideas. Hey, he's bouncing like a motherfucker. And now he's entirely stuck. Yeah, make it make sense. Again, we're just gonna proceed and delete those and just be happy that it worked in the other side, but I cannot get them to work in that side of the build for some reason. It's just not supposed to be working. So now to get this actually knocked out, we are gonna place some people here and then this build will look appropriate. But yeah, for something like you just said, Mesa, it's like a construction in a highway. It's still really handy to have. Like there is situation where the roadblock is really nice and should be used. But then in other times, clearly it does not do what at least I wanted to do. But still a cool asset to have in mind because it does not show up in Find It, so you can only find it through the Add Object menu, which I guess people don't usually check much in. And with this I'm always sad, because if you zoom in close, it's very obvious that this is supposed to be some kind of flowers, even looks a bit like a cactus actually. From further away, I always think it looks like fake watches, And I would love fake watches thematically to be sold in Los Vagos. So I'm sad that it's not fake watches, but actually flowers instead. But we tried that so many of those, or did you actually try in-game so you know what you're talking about, or is it just guessing? Because sure, I can try again, but I don't feel like it's gonna work. Because I tried exactly what you were talking about and just angled them out very far as well, and it didn't work. You are testing? Okay, then wait, let me reread so I actually get your... Use 2 blockers, one in the right side, in the left side, but not in... Yeah, we tried that in the past, and I did not have perfect success. Again, I do think this is a tricky situation, because we have that really big node here so close, right? But what you mean is something like this, position-wise, right? Where it's far away to the side. I mean, you can just cook more and put them to me. A bit further from the turn. Yeah, I guess we can just go a bit further here. Okay, and then the other one across of it also not really going. Look at him bounce, Elgando. I think when they bounce, you're too far away. So I think we have to go in a bit further to get him to not bounce. But I'm not sure. Let's try this side, and then we delete this one. And try... He's roll... No. He was rolling, and then he bounced. Very crazy. How about this? He is rolling at first, and then he bounces. So this one is also not correctly placed. And he bounces in the part where he's in it too far, so I guess we put it even further to the side. He just drives through, so this is too far outside. Really, I spent so much time trying this, and I do think in this position, at least, it's not possible to get them right. This does not stop at all anymore. So also too far. They either don't stop at all or they bounce. Okay, he rolled at first, then he bounced like a motherfucker. I don't want to have to redo all of that, Elgando. No, I can't. I'm sorry, I refuse. We can try in some other position. I do think it's a lot easier as well in a flat, not how's it called, in a straight part, right? In your testing, did you do it close to a curve node? Because yes, if you actually have the solution and it's very similar to here and it works, then sure, we can delete the dirt net lane. But I spent like 45 minutes testing this in this position in total. Like, we're not doing this the first time, so I don't think we will have success with that. Because really, we try to like move the markers every centimeter without any luck. Here it works perfect, but then again, we also don't have any node close by. So I do think it definitely is related to the nodes to some degree. And welcome in, Nomis. Nice to see you. Yeah, this is also in the middle of the road. Like, this one is literally just placed straight in the center, and here it works perfectly fine. But again, the other one has nodes very close to each other, so I think that's mainly what's messing with it, sadly. And how are you doing today, Nomis? We've been generally detailing today, but the last few minutes we've been doing some unsuccessful testing, not being able to get something to work like it should, sadly. I mean, chill day is always nice to have. So I wouldn't complain about that. Okay, slowly this is coming together. This side here actually is quite nice. I don't even want this, well, I guess there should be one cellar next to these, but I don't want this to be too full, because this is somewhat rural, so we're not gonna overload this anymore. And here we definitely want some people to actually make use of our weird seated kind of planter here. And Nomis, do you plan on switching to CS2 once we get the asset editor? Or do you just prefer CS1 over CS2 in general? I'm always curious what the reason for people is to prefer CS1 over CS2. Because the assets I totally see, but once the asset idea, I think I don't see much reason anymore. Honestly, maybe have some kiddos here in the front, and then that should be perfectly good enough already as well. Maybe even a small plant, but it's a bit too little spacing here. Yeah, never mind. I was thinking maybe even a very little planter here in front, but curious. Did you try it? Because you saying didn't get into it actually sounds like you tried it and didn't like it. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. For me, it's the exact opposite. I tried CS1 and just could not get into it. Oh, yeah, okay, curious. I mean, I luckily skipped all of that, because according from what I know, the launch must have been a very big disaster, so I guess fair to not have liked the game back then. Yeah, I get that, of course, if your first impression is a very sad and disappointing one, then yeah, I get that it's hard to fully be open-minded. I mean, to be fair, one of the things I literally just said not long ago, where I get a bit more why people are so disappointed, I never seen any of the original marketing or trailer or anything for this game, right? I just bought CS2 because I like people on YouTube that were playing CS2. But then every time I see some of the marketing they made for this game, it seems very... I don't even know how to word it. It seems unhonest. I will give them the benefit of the doubt and say they were just overly ambitious and didn't manage to. But yeah, in a result, it still seems pretty unhonest, because they promised so many things in the trailers that they did not really back up on later. But then I did not buy the game because of all of the marketing or trailers. I just watched Infrastructuries and Sully and Canadian Moose on YouTube. So I knew the game has a lot of flaws and I knew exactly what I was getting into. I missed all of that. I would love to see that, to be honest, because I would like to learn a bit more about the early days of CS2 and its drama. So if you have funny, or disastrous moments from the start of CS2, that you can still find, please post them in my Discord. I would absolutely love having a look at that after a stream and making fun of it. Well, I guess putting two people in front of the newspaper, I don't think most Americans read a newspaper, so that's maybe a bit overly ambitious. We're gonna keep only one single person trying to educate themselves a little. But yes, I am very happy with this. Now we have this here. The only question I'm unsure about, maybe we should actually... Okay, I hope I remember that. If gladly ask me about that the next time you're in my stream, and if I remembered, I will tell you my thoughts about it. Else, maybe you have to remind me again. But one of the things that I've seen last week, because Starq sent it regarding that, is the traffic AI trailer. And it's pretty hilarious, because I love CS2, like I literally love this game, but the traffic AI in this game is absolutely horrible and should be avoided as much as possible. Okay. Actually, hold on, I know myself, I will forget about it. I will just copy and paste that message into my Discord, so I will remember. So give me a very short moment. And how do I say this? I struggle with this because I know that's the case in many games that I really like as well, where you have a very motivated community of players, and then still the game dev lets some people far away from the game review it instead. I can understand to a certain degree, because as harsh as it sounds, people who are very in sync with the community and very heavily involved generally are known and only have the reach to people within that certain community anyways. And then once you let people from different communities or entire like different YouTubers or players into the game, often that brings a lot of pull, right? I don't know who they took or what they took, but I know that Path of Exiles, for example, a game that I used to really appreciate, often did that and invited non-Path of Exile YouTubers to play Path of Exile. And I do very much understand why they do it, right? To like open the reach to people who are not that much into the genre. But it can be a big fail if that goes bad then. From the sound of it, it sounds like there must have been something going wrong technically during that stream as well. That has been very embarrassing, I guess.
Some Latinos up here.
Hi mate, welcome back. I'm sure Elgando has heard about that, if that is such a big problem. Elgando, are you familiar with the crane stream? Because I've not heard about it before, but I'm learning about more early days CS2 drama thanks to Nomis. Oh well, I thought you were away for a bit. My bad. And happy to still have you here. Just scroll up a few message. Cities Skylines crane stream. Again, I don't know much about it. Besides, it must have been a horrible disaster, and I will check it out after stream. some early promo that must have gone very... Yeah, okay, see, you do know and you agree with Nomis. Now I wanna check that out. Because yeah, I think one of the reasons why I like this game so much and I'm so unbiased, because I missed every single of those horrible disasters that you guys had to put up with, but for me it's like they never happened, because I wasn't playing the game back then yet. Yeah, for me still a lot of this comes down to the marketing of the game being a disaster, because I do think the game generally is fine, but then the marketing in this game generally seems pretty unhonest. Hold on, can we get this with picker? Nice. Because Elgeno, now you said you never use this pack. Now you can see what I meant about this pack. See? Some of them are perfectly fine, but many of them are very big actually. These medium ones are nice. The big ones I've been using here is too big. But yeah, we're gonna prop up the back of this motel because it's entirely empty. I hope we can get some of Elgendo's doors to work with this, to get this somewhat proper motel looking. So always want one window, one door, like a typical rundown US motel, really. How come you think it's different to the first game, as somebody who's not really played the first game? Because I did play the first game as well, but I played the first game very, very early, before it had all of the DLCs and all of the nice assets that it's gotten later on. And I can tell you that in the start of CS2, I did not, or in the start of CS1, I did not enjoy it at all. I'm sure that's very different if you play heavily modded. Because I don't think I would enjoy CS2 without all of the mods we have, but... I'm curious. Because yeah, I think what the game really, or where the marketing is very unhonest, is them talking about the amazing simulation. Because really, I like the game a lot. I think CS2 is very fun. I'm having a blast playing it. But I think the simulation in this game is not especially great. It's pretty much the weakest part of the game, which also is the one where they advertise about the most. So that seems pretty unhonest, really. What do we put here? This I would actually like to turn a bit into some kind of office, but do we have something to use here? Maybe we can actually use the more industrial Elgato windows here. I think we can manage to give this a bit of a different character. Because yes, they are industrial windows, but I think they would be working perfectly fine for some kind of weird reception or something like that as well. Yeah, of course. Elgeno, you can paywall them now. I have all of them on my hard drive. I don't care. You paywall whatever you feel like paywalling. But I would even agree, Nomis, but then I do think that's also a bit of an unfair comparison, because CS2 did not start out like CS1 did not start out with as much content either. Like, everybody who I know who's been playing CS1 at launch days has said that CS1 has been a shit game at launch, and it took a few years to get the DLCs and all of the mods to actually be enjoyable and take off. And yes, I know Seas 2 is out for 2 years. Is it 2 years now? I think 2 years. But it's just 2 years, right? And the modding is also not really fully supported. It's still all in beta, so it makes sense that that is not at the same stage yet as CS2 is now, or CS1 is nowadays, but it probably will be, I would guess. Yeah, 2 years soon, okay. I mean, that is a long time, but then again, that still... How old is CS1 by now? Like 10 years? So that's a lot of years for a lot of content and additions. I would love a single... Oh, this one is perfect. Nice. I was gonna say, I would love a single piece to fit there. Because again, usually we would want graffitis to overlap a bit more and for this to be wilder. But we're so far outside here that I actually want to keep it a bit cleaner because there's not going to be that much graffiti here anymore. Yeah, I mean, that is very fair, because you do totally have a point, and I agree with the asset editor, but then again, from the little knowledge I have, the reason we don't yet have the asset editor is mainly down to Unity fucking over Colossal Order, which still totally up on them to base as much on Unity and to rely on Unity as hard without knowing that it actually will get delivered to a point where they need it. But I struggle a bit with shaming a small studio like Colossal Order too much for getting fucked over by a giant like Unity. Which again, doesn't matter what the reason is. If you don't enjoy the game, you don't enjoy the game, so no need to be fair or reasonable with any of that. I do think that matters when voicing your anger, to some degree at least. Yeah, I totally get it. Again, like if you don't enjoy the game, then yeah, don't play it. That makes sense. And I do think it's a big difference. Like if you had all of the possibilities of CS1 and you heavily modded CS1, then yeah, I guess you start playing CS2 and you feel like they've taken a lot away, right? But as somebody who never played CS1 modded, I never had any of that, so anything I get more in CS2 makes the game better and more fun to me. That's not a feeling of, oh, I just get back what I had before. Yeah, that's fair. I get that sentiment. For me, it's quite similar with CS1, where many people told me I should try CS1 because I would love it. But I just don't enjoy building the roads there, and that for me is enough reason to not appreciate the game. What are they singing about? Because I am not able to understand the lyrics well enough. But yes, the tropical soundtrack in general is a banger. Okay, that's enough. Maybe a little here and a very little in the front. But in the front, I want a lot less graffiti. Well, I never felt like I cannot do what I wanna do in CS1 with roads either. Like, I did manage to build what I wanted to, but the amount of pain I have to go through to get the result I wanted is what made me not like it, I should say. It just felt very clunky combined or compared to how easy it is in CS2 to draw out fairly complex intersections. Which again, surely mod made that a lot easier, like all of what I'm saying is unmodded, so that definitely matters a lot, I'm sure, for my view of the game. Yeah, no, it makes sense. Maybe one day, if we ever get the asset editor, then maybe one day it can make a comeback for you. Can't fit this, and then this already pretty much is enough. And then what I definitely want to try here, what we have not really done much in the past, so I am gonna be bad at this, but the window boards or something that we have. I mean, yeah, that is not just a concern. That is totally confirmed for now. That also is confirmed to not supposedly stay that way, and they wanna evolve on that, which again might take a long time. The honest truth in my understanding though would be that once they finally figure a way to fix their issues with serialization and virtual texturing, that from that point things should go a lot faster, I would guess. I'm not sure if that's the case, but then that would make sense, because really, yes, they will definitely have to switch up some things to get it to work for different things, but I think that's probably a lot less work than it is to initially get those things to be working. Yeah, that's fair. Hot. I love this. This is also a good try for us, because this is what we want to turn not all of this part of the city in, but here we want a lot of like rundown, half abandoned, half closed ones. Here I still want most of this strip mall to be functional and get normal service, but then some of it I want to be abandoned already, and then the further we get, the more it's gonna be. Can we get this nailed up somewhat appropriately? Looks kinda brutal, but then it works, I guess. It's nailed close. Yeah, vehicles, honestly, for me is probably the biggest one by now, because with buildings, I know it's not nearly as crazy in CS1. For me, small things, but then the truth is also I need less building variety than most people, because I build fairly small cities, and I do think for American cities we have great assets. Clearly not everything, and yes, you will totally miss things, but with American cities I'm very happy. If it's about European cities, then that behaves a whole lot different. I would not be willing to build a European city for CS2. I think there is just not enough assets to properly build that. For me, it's actually small things. For me, it's small props and more vehicle variation and things like that. Because yeah, obviously there is a lot of things lacking in this game still. I think actually maybe closing down a single one of those already is fine. The question if we also want to close down one of the stores, and I'm a bit unsure about it. think this is probably enough for this part of the city, and then when we go further up there, there is where we're gonna close a lot down. Yeah, no, for me, I very much agree. Obviously, as a CS1 player, for you, this is an absolute disaster, right? And there is no need to talk about it. Why are all of these weirdos just standing around here? Yeah, it's horrible. I hate it, and it's all I have, right? So, I get it, that if you have that different in CS1, then that really ruins the vibe for you in CS2. Again, I do think that kind of issues would have been a lot smaller if they would have not gotten shafted by Unity, but they did. So now, obviously, all of those things you guys are pointing out are issues and can't really ignore them. And no, because these are decals, we can't. They are too deep. We cannot go far away enough to make this look appropriate. So that's a bit of a problem.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Welcome in, mate. Thanks so much for the raid. That's very cute of you. So, how was your stream today? What were you playing? Were you playing Borderlands again? Or were you actually playing some cities this time? Or maybe even something entirely different? Or these we can board up. Okay, we're gonna board up one of these to make it look a bit shabbier. And at the back we can leave it intact. I think this is a perfectly fine level of shabbiness at that point. But yeah, welcome in. Hope you had a nice stream. And I actually did look at a new Borderland. A new Borderland does look very fun. I don't think that's something I'd ever play on stream, because I pretty much only stream CS2. But that does seem like a fun game to maybe blast with my girlfriend. I'm also doing well, thanks man. And were you playing Borderlands again or not? I mean, I think that's perfectly fine. I just think, there is people out there who are made to be variety streamers, and then there is people like me who base their entire channel around a single game. So I think I totally should stay where I started. But if you make that differently and you build yourself as a variety streamer, then I think that's great and fun. Yeah, no, I didn't want to add parking. I don't think we need more parking here, because we have this entire front parking lot here. Where, yes, I use invisible parking pretty much everywhere, but here I think it's appropriate to not have invisible parking for once. But otherwise, you are totally right. But yeah, no, I think most people are unlike me and stream many different games and just stream what they feel like, to be honest. Which again, maybe in future, if CS2 does not pique my attention as much anymore, I can also imagine trying to stream something different. But I love this game. I know uncommon for people to love CS as much as I do, but I'm having a really good time. Oh, actually, if I need a beefy computer, then yeah, probably that is gonna be a problem for me. Actually, that's one of the reviews I read a lot about Borderlands 4, that the graphic looked like old Borderlands, but now you need a spaceship computer to be able to properly play it. which I don't have a spaceship computer, so that indeed would be a problem for me. And here, I think this corner is too shitty to put a planter here. We're gonna go in and put a whole lot of word industrial props. Okay, yeah, that is the only thing you had to tell me. I will not be playing Borderlands for that, because that is, your computer is like 3 times as powerful as mine. And if you're saying you're still struggling with frames, then I would quite literally play an absolute slideshow trying to play it. Because yeah, my computer is like 850 euros self-built by now. So honestly, that's very far above what my computer could handle if you're struggling. Okay, now that looks friendly enough. Obviously, we're gonna add a lot of dirt and shit to make this less nice than it is now, but to get the layout in place a bit. I will enjoy looking at that mother things. I mean, even to nowadays, this game has so many bugs and really so many downsides and weak sides, but then do I still have a great time playing this? I totally do. So all I'm left with is complaining about the bad sides, but I still have nothing better to play anyways. Yeah, that's actually crazy, because I mean, it's a fresh game. I don't know what's on with all kind of developers optimizing their games so bad. It feels like since newer graphic card models are getting so much better with frame gen, instead of us gamers actually getting better frames in the games, it just means that developers feel less need to optimize their games well, and now we're stuck with a buggy mess, which not great, but I guess it is what it is. It's really, especially many of the newer titles, feel so demanding nowadays, without the graphics really giving proper validation for being as power hungry. But yeah, thanks a ton for your raid, and glad you're still having fun in Borderlands. Honestly, a bit sad that I learned that Borderlands performance is as bad as it is, because I was thinking I should try that as well, but now I don't think I will. Unless I have a new computer, then maybe we can think about it, but with my current rig, there is no way. And I do think this, what we're doing right here, if Andy is still here, I'm not sure if he is, but this is probably one of the biggest problems of the game, and it's prop variety, not asset variety, but normal small props and vehicles and also sims, exactly like Nomi said. I very much agree with Nomi that that is a gigantic problem. But then also, we've gotten so many good mod solutions for some of the problems of the game only in the time since I play, and I'm still fairly new to the game. So surely it's gonna get better in the future. here, actually, we want to cover that up because there was like half a door. We spliced the buildings a bit weird. So we are just gonna be sneaky and put some crate piles in front so it's not really visible anymore. Not the most elegant solution, but then we're not known to be elegant here in Los Vagos. Actually, this does seem out of place there. It seems more in place here. I guess industrial detailing, really, we pretty much only need in the back, and then in the front we'll probably go in with more commercial normal props. And I was thinking if we put bollards here, but the more I look at it with how rural it is, I think we don't want bollards here and want people to park in second row and be a bit incorrect instead. Gives us a bit more freedom than when we actually bollard it up. We'll see, maybe we reconsider, but I do think no bollards are more elegant here. And having a look at the clock, I actually should stop stream very soon as well. I did not realize how late it is already. Oh, hold on. I do think we probably want to remove some graffiti if we can't. Never mind, we can just be sneaky and fit it somewhere here in the middle. These are even more perfect. Yes, this one is even more perfect. I quite like the colorful one, so it stands out a bit better. Yeah, of course. I mean, especially with action-packed games or shooters, I never really care about graphics. In fact, in most action-packed games, the first thing I do is put the settings too low, so I get a competitive advantage while still being a shitbot at the game. And thanks for tuning in, Metzger. Have a wonderful good night. I still don't understand the ad time redeem. I don't know what's happening when somebody redeems that, if actually an ad is playing or whatever that is good for. But again, I'm bad at Twitch, so maybe one day we learn what it does. Until Metzger can spam it. This will not fit, will it? No, it
Bye,
won't.
have a great time.
Bye-bye, Andy. Thanks for tuning in and have a nice night. I'm gonna follow all of your lead soon. Now, but what is it for then? Like, I don't understand what that redeem is for, because that is not my redeem. I did not make that. That's one of the annoying default Twitch redeems where I should check if I can disable them somehow. I never bothered to. But yeah, I guess I probably should have a look if we can just turn that off instead. Some shitty vending machine to grab a drink at, and then obviously this has to get a bit more dirty and chaotic. I'm tempted to even put one, outside of one of those stores, or the motel, even better, the kiddos in the motel can go have some amazing arcade fun out here to get cashed off. Yeah, I think I need to check that, if I can somehow just disable that, because I guess it's not good for anything then. I just left it, because I think maybe it does something appropriate. I figured if somebody clicks that, it is a nice way to bully everybody in chat and get them to play an ad. But I guess that's not happening. Can we fit one more, probably a different bench, but some kind of bench for the people here in the hotel to sit on? And now, actually, I do think this is very close to where we want to land already. And I'm goddamn happy, because really, the one thing we did not get today too is this, which is going to be our scooter club, obviously. We had a great idea for that today. But then the next time actually means we're gonna fully dive into this. Here, I'm not entirely sure. This we're gonna have to have a look at together again. I'm not sure if this is what I want. But I kinda want a small space here for the lorries to go over the bridge, to have more reason to have that bridge here. And then I guess if we have the lorries here, we do need some kind of loading station. Obviously, all of this is gonna be abandoned. We're gonna really make these rails shitty and not have, or make quite obvious that they're not being used currently anymore. But I do think we need something here still to give a bit more reason to the rail infrastructure, even if we then just end up breaking it. And obviously I need to redraw that. That looks horrible down here. But I can do that off stream. I don't have to bore you guys with that. And otherwise, I think, sadly, with a look at the clock, I desperately need to head to bed. I'm very happy with all of this we did today, and mainly happy with this build we did today, where we have the drunk store owner, Mr. Chaos Fun over there, not taking very good store or care of his own liquor store. But yeah, I'm gonna put you guys here with a nice view of the liquor store we built today, and I'm gonna open Twitch and have a real quick at who we can raid. As always, thank you so much for you cuties for tuning in. And thanks for all the raids we've gotten today. Thanks for Vanilla Cream, and thanks for Maza, and thanks for Boyle. And with that, thank you so much for tuning in. And let's have a look at who we can raid. I hope Fashion is still on. Because if so, I will just send you guys over to Fashion. Is he? Fashion is still streaming. That's perfect. Because then I will send you guys over to Fashion. Fashion is an absolutely amazing streamer, and I'm sure you guys will have a lot of fun over there. And with that, thank you so much for tuning in today. And all of you cuties have an absolute wonderful evening. If you want to catch my next streams, easiest is to join my Discord, where I ping when I go live. Or otherwise, I don't know, just follow me on Twitch or something. And with